Fox Sports.
We are Black Force. We are Sun Force.
After dropping the first 2 games in South Florida to the Marlins, the Rays hope their offense can pump up the volume and get back on track. Right-hander James Shields looks to continue his stellar start to the season. So grab a donut and some coffee, pull up a chair, and get ready for more Interleague Baseball Game 3. Welcome to Rays Sunday Baseball, brought to you all season by Hyundai. This afternoon from Sun Life Stadium in North Miami, more Interleague Baseball. The Tampa Bay Rays meet the Florida Marlins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Statz. Great to have you aboard. Todd Callis will be along in just a few moments here. He's just back from South Beach. Well, the Rays have dropped the first 2 games of this series by scores of 5-3, and again yesterday 5-3. They're taking on a Marlins ball club dedicated to youth in the middle part of their lineup, the likes of Gabby Sanchez and Mike Stanton, 2 good young hitters.
After talking about Logan Morrison yesterday, you turn to these 2 hitters, 2 completely different styles. Gabby Sanchez, an all-around hitter. He's hitting .324 off lefties. He's hitting .308 against righties. He leads the team in multi-hit games with 15, leads the team in RBIs with 27. And then you've got Mike Stanton, power. I mean, light tower power. We saw that Friday night off Andy Sonnenstein. He can launch. In the month of May, he has gone off. He leads the National League with 8 home runs in the month of May while hitting .288. So you combine them in the middle of that lineup with Logan Morrison, and you've got some young hitters that are really leading this Marlin bunch.
Yeah, the Rays dropping the first 2 games to the Marlin, meaning that they have, for only the second time this year, lost a road series. They're going to send James Shields to the mound in a stopper role here this afternoon.
Yeah, looking for James Shields to step up, help this ball club out. He has been very good all season long, a 4-2 record on the year. That could be much better, but he's been good on the road as of late. After that start that he had in Chicago, not so good. Since then, on the road, lights out. 23 in the 3rd innings, giving up just 3 earned runs. You see the overall numbers there. He did lose his last start out at home against the New York Yankees. Pitched well in that game, gave up 3 earned runs in 7 innings with 9 strikeouts. He'll be looking to get back in the win column this afternoon.
So it will be James Shields against Jay Bente. In fact, last year, Shields notched one of his wins in relief, and it was in that game that Jay Bente pitched against the Rays for the Florida Marlins. Rays baseball from South Florida, just around the corner. When we come back, Todd Callis.
interleague baseball, the intrastate variety, as the Rays play their final game ever at Sun Life Stadium, with the Marlins moving into a new facility next year. Rays looking to salvage one game in this three-game weekend series from Miami Gardens as we get you ready for baseball on a warm Sunday afternoon. For the Rays, a little bit of a heavy heart yesterday for shortstop Reed Brignac. He learned before the game that his grandfather passed away in Santa Ana, Louisiana. So Reed has left the team, placed on the bereavement list. He'll rejoin the Rays when they return to St. Petersburg for a homestand beginning on Friday. So in his place, Felipe Lopez is selected from AAA Durham, and our thoughts are with the Brignac family as they tend to matters in Louisiana. So that's the roster move today. Lopez here with the team arrived this morning, and he's ready to go. Now for James Shields, 7 starts in a row of 7 innings or more. Shields has been very consistent lately, and today here's his focus about playing against and pitching against a team that he hasn't faced too often.
You know, you just do a lot of video work, and you know, my main thing right now is to stay consistent. I think I've been consistent for the most part all year long so far, and if I can go out there and get a quality start like I've been over the last 6 or 7 starts or so, and you know, give us a chance to win, that's my job. And you know, I'm not going to go out there and try to change too much, change my game. I never really like to do that, you know, depending on the team. But yeah, I'm going to go out there and just pitch my game and see how it works out.
Well, lately it's been working out very well for Shields. We'll see how things go this afternoon. It's the Rays and the Marlins to wrap up to the weekend series. When we come back, it is time for baseball. 3 minutes and 2 seconds away from Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson with all the action in high definition right here on Sun Sports. Enjoy, everyone.
A retailer in the country, so we can do big things. Tires Plus. Thinking tires, think Tires Plus. By AT&T. And by Toyota. Moving forward. A warm afternoon. Temperature will be in the upper 80s, perhaps hit 90 under clear skies, as the Rays and the Marlins square off for Game 3 of this series. Rays will have Elliott Johnson leading off for the first time this year. Johnny Damon hits second ahead of Evan Longoria. Matt Joyce, the cleanup man. B.J. Upton starting in center field, hitting fifth in front of Casey Kochman. Sean Rodriguez is at second base. Kelly Shopik, the catcher, bats eighth. James Shields, the pitcher, in the ninth spot.
Making the start this afternoon for the Florida Marlins, right-hander Jay Bente. You see what he did at New Orleans. He started the season coming out of the bullpen. His first 5 appearances were out of the pen. His last 5 were starts, and you see the cumulative numbers there. 3-0 record, 1.94 earned run average. Throwing the ball very well for New Orleans and deserving of the call-up. Let's take a look at the Marlin defense this afternoon. Left to right in the outfield, Logan Morrison, Chris Coughlin, and Mike Stanton. Across the infield, third to first, Greg Dobbs, Hanley Ramirez, Omar Infante, and Gabby Sanchez. Brett Hayes draws the catching duties today.
Edwin Rodriguez has the Florida Marlins in the National League East, a game and a half behind the Philadelphia Phillies. The Marlins running second. And the Rays will start the day in a virtual tie for first place in the AL East. They are a couple percentage points behind New York. The Yankees at 24-20, the Rays 25-21, and the two ahead by a half game in front of the Boston Red Sox. Rays have dropped 3 straight, dropping the first 2 games here against the Florida Marlins. Jay Bente out of Evansville, Indiana, went to school at Purdue, and the Rays did see him last year in a relief appearance. In fact, he started the year in New Orleans in the bullpen, and only recently has been a starting pitcher at the Marlins AAA affiliate. And here is Elliott Johnson. First pitch of this game is too low. Laz Diaz, 12-year veteran of Major League Baseball, calling the balls and strikes. And there is a strike to Johnson, 1-1, 87 degrees as we start play this afternoon. Johnson sends a fly ball to center. That's got some carry. Coughlin keeps drifting back and makes the catch. That ball was headed to the deepest part of the park. It's 434 out there, just a little bit to the left of center. And just as Coughlin hit the warning track, he hauled that one in.
Oh, I know, Dwayne. I know all about that 434 on the left of center. Well, you can see Bente obviously new to the starting gig. His last, he said 5 appearances as a starter, but still not comfortable out of the windup.
And the pitch to Damon is a strike.
Well, if they wanted to simplify his mechanics, they're taking it a little bit too far. Out of the stretch, nobody on base.
And there's a foul ball. That's an interesting point. You see a lot of relievers who will work strictly from the stretch because they're going to, most of the time, they're going to work from the stretch. And it's always an interesting thing when a starting pitcher, and here's Bente, making a conversion at least for a period of time from the bullpen to the starting rotation, and he prefers to stay out of the stretch because he has those mechanics all honed out of the stretch. And a windup would be something completely new for him.
Right, and he's throwing the ball well. He made this transition after the season started. This is not something that he started working on in spring training. He was 5 appearances into a season when...
And another fly ball to center, and Coughlin's there, 2 gone.
The Marlin Brass, they wanted to convert someone into a starter, because of injuries, try to build some depth. So obviously you go looking for a guy that you feel like, can be stretched out and has more than 2 pitches. Well, Bente fit the bill. And so you make that transition right in the middle of a AAA season. And yeah, he's not going to just all of a sudden jump into the windup if that's not something that he's, comfortable doing and done in the past. And so... And it's been working because he's been throwing the ball, like I said, extremely well.
Here's Longoria. Evan takes it inside. Well, Edwin Rodriguez, their manager, was talking with the writers the other day about how limited they are when it comes to starting pitching. Not a lot of options. And no sooner did he say that than Josh Johnson went on the disabled list. This one sails right over Longoria's head. So Johnson, who was scheduled to start today with some shoulder inflammation and a little reduced velocity on the DL, and they've had to call to the minor leagues to New Orleans to get Bente in here to start.
And that's why it was so important to try to get Javier Vasquez going. You know, he was off to a terrible start. Had a really good one yesterday against the Rays, but, you know, that's why they continued to stick with him and said, listen, we need him. We need him to break out of this slump.
3-0 the count to Evan. And he's swinging and shoots it foul. Speaking of breaking out of a slump, the Rays would love to get their offense going. That has started to be a concern. Joe Madden trying to get more than just the 2 or 3 runs a game, and there's ball 4 inside. Longoria walks. And Evans, one of the guys right now, he's 3 for his last 30 as he draws a walk his first time up. When you look up and down the lineup, Joyce has been swinging a good bat, and overall Upton behind him swinging the bat okay, but you know they need to get the likes of Evan Longoria and Ben Zobrist going offensively again. Matt lifts a high pop foul that's going to carry into the stands. Strike 1. Joyce starting the afternoon hitting .358. Second behind Jose Bautista. A 1-1 count. Joyce and Bautista, the only 2 big league hitters over .350. 2-1. Matt had a base hit and 3 trips to the plate yesterday, and 2 triples, 2 for 4 here Friday night. Hits it on the ground to Infante at second base. His toss in time. Ray's going to walk. That's it. They leave him in. Bottom of the first coming. No score. Miami area, apparently. The ballpark here today.
Want to bring a little piece of home with her.
Take a look at the starting lineup for the Marlins. Chris Coughlin's going to lead it off, followed by Hanley Ramirez and Logan Morrison. Sanchez, Dobbs, and Stanton down the middle. Infante, Hayes, and then Bente.
James Shields takes the mound this afternoon for the Rays. It will be his 10th start on the season, 2 complete games. 4-2 record, 2.26 earned run average, coming off of a loss that he had at home against the Yankees. Went 7 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. He's been very good all season long.
So Shields set to go to work against Coughlin, and the fastball to start him up and away. A ball, no strikes. Coughlin back in there against the right-hander. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. They had Bonifacio in there in center field in yesterday's game with David Price on the mound. Coughlin now behind in the count, 1-2.
Now this is a big start for James Shields for no other reason than the team is scuffling right now. They're not scoring a lot of runs. Lost the first 2 games of this series. Lost yesterday with David Price on the mound, and so you'd like to see James come out today, be very aggressive, and try to set a tone early.
It's low. It's 2-2.
Any little thing to try and beef up the confidence of his ball club.
That's fouled into the screen. Coughlin hitting .298 against righties, a little over 100 against left-handed pitching. So that's why the switch yesterday and today. Coughlin got off to a very good start in the first 3 weeks of the season or so. He fouls it back, and since then it's been a little different story. So the Marlins are trying to get him going out of the leadoff spot. And Shields works it all the way. It's a 3-2 count now.
It takes a lot of discipline to lay off that changeup that Shields features. It's really a put-away strikeout pitch. He'll throw it up in the strike zone for the called strike, but.
And a ground ball to second. Sean Rodriguez makes the play. 1 away.
Well, let's take a look at the Ray defense this afternoon. Left to right in the outfield, Johnny Damon, B.J. Upton, and Matt Joyce. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Elliott Johnson, Sean Rodriguez, and Casey Kochman. And Kelly Shopping gets the call behind the plate.
Hanley Ramirez. He's hitting .224. And a big part of that against left-handed pitching. Well over 400 off lefties. A ball and no strikes. In fact, he's hitting .424 against lefties and .174 against right-handed pitching. If they get him going the way they know he can. There's a fly ball into right. Joyce is there to make the catch. 2 gone. If they get him going with Morrison and Sanchez and Stanton, that middle part of the lineup could really be a force in the NL East.
Very strong. Very strong. And then you combine that with the way that the Marlin bullpen is throwing the ball, and the starters of Josh Johnson can, miss very little time and come back healthy. And starting rotation is young, very good. The bullpen's good, and you're right, if Hanley Ramirez can get going, you've got 4 really good hitters right down through the middle of that Marlin order. Very young, too.
And here's Morrison. He's been impressive in this series. His approach, not only his numbers, but the way he does it.
Well, that impressive. It's actually more impressive than his numbers. It's just how he's willing to hit the ball where it's pitched. Trust his mechanics, trust his hands. He hits a home run. A lot of guys, they hit a home run, then they just want to start juicing the rest of the ball game. Well, he gets late in the game and takes a tough splitter from Peralta and shoots that ball out into left center field, which turned out to be a huge hit for the Marlins in that game on Friday night.
Yeah, it tells you that he's a thinking hitter up there, and perhaps the most dangerous kind.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, you ask any pitcher, and if you have a guy up there who is either looking to hit a home run all the time or looking to pull all the time, those guys are easy to pitch to in your mind, and that they're easier to pitch to than the guy who's willing to go the other way. We saw him yesterday get a fastball from David Price up and away and line it to left field. When you hit the ball where it's pitched and can pull it.
Well, he's out in front of the changeup there. A lot of good hitters missed that pitch. We're at the end of an inning, no score. Season, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. B.J. Upton will open the second inning against Bente. Kochman next, and then Rodriguez. 1 ball, no strikes. There's a roller down to short. Ramirez makes the routine play. 1 out.
Well, you can see already with Jay Bente, he has a very quick rhythm. You're working out of the stretch full time, but he gets the ball, gets right back up on the rubber, goes right to work, likes to work with the fastballs, got some good run on it. His big out pitch is his split. Got a very good split. Mimics really kind of looks like James Shields' changeup. And he'll also throw the curveball and the slider.
Casey Kochman takes a good look at the pitch down. A ball and no strikes. Bente got the first 2 men in the first and then walked Longoria before Joyce grounded out. A ground ball from Upton. 2-0 the count to Kochman. And there's ball 3. Yeah, they've stretched Bente out to a point in New Orleans where he's made over 90 pitches in a couple of those starts, and he walks Kochman. So the Rays get their second base runner. And last outing was a 6-inning stint on the 14th. He made 87 pitches in that one. The time before 95 and 90 the time before that.
Yeah, that 95 pitch outing was a complete game. But you can see why. Works quickly. Like I said, if he's got that good sinker working and is throwing it in the strike zone, you can get a lot of easy, quick outs.
How about in that complete game, he threw 72 strikes out of 95 pitches. So he's all over the strike zone, as in it.
Yeah, 72 out of 95. That's, you know, you can get to the point where you actually throw too many strikes, or you're way too in the zone.
Yeah, the average, if you throw 65 out of 100.
Would be good.
Yeah, and so that gives you an idea. He threw 72 and fewer than 100 pitches. 1-2.
A nice curveball there by Bente, dropping that one in the zone to get ahead of Rodriguez. 1-2. The knuckle curve variety. You see that? That's that true 12-6 break, top to bottom.
Ground ball sharply hit past the diving Ramirez into center. Throw back to second. Kochman made the turn, and Coghlan decided to throw behind him. But Casey got in there, and the Rays have 2 men on.
Well, off speed there by Bente. The split, it did not bottom out. See, this ball stays up. He wants that pitch below the zone to try to get the swing and a miss. It stays in the zone, and Sean Rodriguez, looking to protect, just takes it right back up the middle.
So a little bit of a threat going here, and here's Kelly Shopik. Shopik with a couple home runs on the year, hitting 164, and he pops it up, foul ball, carrying out of play. Shopik pinch hit in the game yesterday and drew a bases loaded walk. Hits it on the ground through the left side. That's a base hit. Kochman's going to have to stop at third. So the Rays have the bases loaded on a walk and back-to-back singles.
This is just a fastball there, stays up. Kelly Shopik, short little swing, hits it hard, and right in the hole, well placed. Now this is one of those opportunities that you cannot let go by the wayside. If you're the Rays, you're struggling offensively. You've dropped a few games in a row, and now you got an opportunity, an early opportunity.
Well, the Rays are 1-3 on this road trip, and they've hit 195 for the road trip. And this is James Shields.
Opportunity to help himself out here.
He swings through a fastball too high. 1 strike. Even pitchers who see that ball up there are going to chase it.
Absolutely. You see the whole baseball. It looks big. You know, when guys say, hey, that thing looked like a melon. It looked like a balloon. Well, that's because you see the whole baseball. It's close to your eyes. You think you can hit it, and if there's any kind of velocity on it whatsoever, more times than not, you don't.
Yeah, there aren't many hitters who climb on top of those pitches and do much with them.
You pop them up, you swing through them.
A 1-1 count. 2 balls and a strike.
I will never forget getting a chance to face Kerry Wood, and he got ahead of me and then threw me 2 straight fastballs that I swear to you, it looked like a giant balloon. And I'm like, I am all over this pitch, you know, and you swing and miss.
Pop foul back, out of play, 2-2.
And I didn't look at it the first time, but the second one, I'm like, I'm all over that. How did I miss that? Well, I look up, it's 98 miles an hour. And it's chest high.
Good luck.
You're not that good anyway. You're not going to hit it.
Pitchers start thinking like hitters.
Well, it sure looked good, though.
And there is ball 3 outside. But on the other side of that, even if you are a pitcher, especially in the American League when you haven't hit a lot, but over in the National League, hey, you can't go up there and not be confident.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to think you're going to hit all those pitches.
Right.
You just don't most of the time, but ground ball to third. Dobbs bobbles in, and everybody's going to be safe. Well, he had a potential double play right there, but the ball got away from him. Kochman scores, and the Rays take the lead.
Well, any way you can get him at this point. That was an inning-ending double play there. Tailor-made. Served up here by Shields. And he just flat out drops it. And then to compound the problems, not able to make a play on Rodriguez. So he wasn't even able to get one out.
So an error on the play. Can't assume the double play for purposes of scoring, and so there will be a run batted in. And here's Elliott Johnson. He takes the pitch for a strike. So the Rays have the first run of the game, and Shields has a run batted in. Elliott fouls it. It's the second error of the year charged to Dobbs, who's in a platoon situation at third base with Wes Helms.
You would have liked to have seen just one out on that. Really, as it popped out of the glove, make the throw over and get Shields, the pitcher, running to first. You know what ends up happening is, you're already assuming, okay, double play, it's hit to me, I'm setting my feet, now I bobble it. Well, now I get greedy. Now I want to get the lead off, or the lead runner, try to tag him, not able to get there. Bad situation becomes worse.
Ground ball, right side. Infante goes to second out there, but no chance for a double play. The run scores as Rodriguez crosses the plate, and it's 2-0. Shopik goes to third. Well, Johnson able to pull the ball enough toward the hole that made a double play an impossible situation.
Yeah, the ball wasn't hit hard enough. Elliott Johnson runs well, and you're right, Dwayne. You see here, you force Infante to have to go over to his left, throw off his heels. Not enough time to get it done.
Elliott Johnson picking up his 8th run batted in, and here is Johnny Damon. Elliott back in at first. Damon takes a good look at the pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. Shopik at third. Rays have Johnson at first. And really on an afternoon game like this, with Shields being forced at second, you hate to give up an out anywhere, but it's not the worst thing to get him off the bases. Damon up the right side. That's going to be foul. 1-1. Runner headed to second, and the throw will be in time. Johnson tagged out by Ramirez. That's going to retire the side. The Rays settle for 2, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Rays leading 2-0. We play here and move into the bottom of the second inning. Great to have you looking in. The Rays have a 2-0 lead, and the Ottaway poll question. Text your vote to 789-789. Which team has a better chance to make the playoffs? TB1, Rays. TB2, the Marlins. Standard message rates apply on our Ottaway text poll. Gabby Sanchez leading off the home half of the second for Florida. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one. Sanchez at 311 overall, and he's been good against lefties and right-handed pitching, hitting over 300 against both.
That's what makes him so impressive. Very well-rounded hitter.
And he lines it into left. There's a base hit. Out of the reach of Johnson. Leadoff single.
Yeah, Gabby Sanchez base hit here to left field. Watch this. Very little extra movement in the swing. He keeps his hands still, just picks the front foot up, puts it down. That's what allows him to get to those pitches. That was in a spot down and in, typically not a hot zone for a right-handed hitter, but you saw his mechanics are so simple. Just pick the foot up, put it down, drop the bat head, line it out there. That lack of movement within the swing is why you see him be able to be so consistent and hit so well off lefties and righties.
Now keep it simple.
Really, that's about, Paul Molitor was like that. Just hardly any movement. Wide stance, pick the foot up, put it down, and swing. And quick to the ball with your hands. And, you cut down all that extra movement. You cut down, a lot of different parts of your swing that can go bad, where the timing can be off. You limit your mistakes.
Strike the count to Dobbs. He's hitting 347. He pops it up. Shields making the call on this one. So Dobbs out number one.
Well, Sunday, May 29th, NASCAR on Fox moves to Charlotte, while Kurt Busch will try to defend his title and take home his third checkered flag of the year. Coverage of the Coca-Cola 600 begins Sunday, May the 29th, with the pre-race show delivered by Pizza Hut at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, in high definition on Fox.
Now Mike Stanton. Stanton looks at a pitch down. Stanton with 10 home runs, hit a long home run here Friday night in the fourth inning. All of his home runs tend to be long. Well over 400 feet on average.
And he does not get cheated. He's a big kid, a lot of leverage he creates. You can see when he gets into them, they go.
Well, he hit what they think is the longest home run at City Park. Two and 0 the count here to Stanton. Three balls, no strikes. Stanton has that one get in on him, and he lifts it back into center. I tell you, this guy is some strong.
No, that's what it is. He's very strong. Then he's got long arms. He's taller. that just creates a long lever. So you combine that strength, hand speed, like I said, that long arms, when he gets extension, that ball jumps off the bat.
Two outs with a runner at first for the second baseman, Omar Infante. He grounds it to second base. Rodriguez with the toss to Johnson. Ball game through 2, and the Rays lead 2-0.
Rays lead the Marlins 2-0. Well, send your favorite Rays to the All-Star game this summer. Vote Rays and vote often at RaysBaseball.com.
In the third, the Rays hold a 2-0 lead. It's going to be Johnny Damon, then Evan Longoria, and Matt Joyce against Jay Bente. Bente made 24 pitches in the second inning. So as we discussed, the fact that he's making that conversion from the bullpen to the rotation, he's now made 40 pitches through 2. And that could be significant.
Well, you figure he's going to have the full allotment. Like, you figure they're going to try to get him to 100 pitches, but it's significant in the fact that he's using them up quick.
Yeah.
You know, through 2 innings. You get a chance to get into that Marlin bullpen early.
Johnny Damon takes the first pitch strike. He was at the plate when Elliott Johnson was thrown out trying to steal, caught for the second time this year. That's down to third, glove by Dobbs, and the throw is in time to get Damon.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to get Johnny Damon on a routine ground ball, you better field it cleanly and get it over there. Damon hustling out of the box, and Dobbs, because that was like a little half liner, had to kind of take a step back to be able to field it. See right there, back up to field it, set his feet, and by the way, it gets pretty close.
Yeah, well, Damon hustles right from the first step out of that batter's box.
He sets a wonderful example for the rest of the Rays on how to do it right. A guy that's very accomplished, been doing it for a long time.
Here's Longoria driving one deep into right center field. That ball is going to be caught and pop up into the stands. Or did it? That's a ground rule double. That ball hit his glove, and it apparently hit the ground and bounced up as Stanton made a bid for a great catch. Got his glove on it, but could not hold it, and we'll take another look on this ground rule double.
Here's your checkers double of the game. Well hit. Mike Stanton had to run a long way for this. He reaches up. Well, here you see him. just off the corner of the glove and off the warning track and up into the fans.
So Longoria with a 2-base hit. The Rays happy to see that out of Evan. 1-0 the count to Matt Joyce. Well, that was a great effort by Stanton out there in right center.
And he made a long run and got there. That ball just hit off the thumb part of the glove. Once it hits that warning track, it's that rubberized track. The ball's going to bounce high.
There's a strike. 2-1. Well, Evan picking up his first hit in this series. Oh, a shot back into right field. That ball is going to be off the wall. Extra bases for Joyce. He digs for 2. Longoria scores, and the Rays have a 3-0 lead. Joyce hit the ball hard again, driving in his 24th run of the season. Back-to-back doubles from Longoria and Joyce.
Well, this is a mistake right out over the plate. You see that swing by Joyce right on time, head down, and he drives. That ball got out to the wall in a hurry, about halfway up. Actually gave Stanton a chance to make a play. It came off so quick. But Joyce was hustling all the way, and he gets into second. Longoria scores.
Pitch down and away, taken by B.J. Upton. So 2 runs in the second inning and another run here in the third. And it has the Rays out to a 3-0 lead in the top half of the third. Brett Hayes out to spend some time with his starter Bente. Two and 0. BJ got into the game yesterday in the 8th inning as a pinch hitter. In fact, if you weren't playing for the Rays yesterday, by the 8th inning, you were in the game. 5 pinch hitters in the 8th for the Rays yesterday. So they scored 3 and got back in the game, but still fell 2 runs short.
I didn't think that 8th inning yesterday was going to end.
Well, Madden kept running pinch hitters out there, and Marlin pitchers had trouble throwing strikes.
Yeah. Well, they scored those 3 runs on 1 base hit, a ground ball in the hole. Johnny Damon pulled one between first and second, and Rays scored 3 times.
2-1 now to BJ. That's going to square the count, 2-2.
Well, here's the swing. See that ball bottom out. BJ Upton a little off balance there. Off the splitty.
And Upton is out on strikes.
Well, Bente saw the swing previously and said, well, I had him out in front, had him off balance, go right back to it. That's exactly what he did. Watch this thing go down and the same awkward swing.
Now Casey Kochman with Joyce at second. And the first pitch is a strike to Casey. He walked and scored in the second. Casey scoring the first run of the contest for the Rays. The Rays have 3 runs, 4 hits. They've drawn a couple walks. Liner back into center field. Coughlin on the run, not going to get there. That's going to roll to the deep part of the park. Joyce has scored. Kochman's going to dig for 3. Here's the throw, and he is safe at third base. A 3-base hit for Casey Kochman, and the Rays lead 4-0.
And Casey Kochman needed all 434 feet of that room out there to get over to third base. He put a nice swing on that pitch, elevated, and he just drills it into left center field. That ball was tracking away from Coughlin right here. And then once it gets out into that corner, Kochman turns it up and goes for 3.
Casey's first triple of the year. Sean Rodriguez takes the pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one. You know, Casey did have one season with the Angels when he had three base hits. That's his 6th in his major league career. And 3 of those came in one season with the Angels. 2 balls and a strike. Kochman has been a lift for the Rays with his bat. His glove was there all the time. There's a strike. 2-2.
Yeah, one of the real pleasant surprises, because you're right, Dwayne. You knew what you were going to get with the leather out in the field, but the hitting, I mean, you know, hit 217, I think, last year and 400 some at bats. Had been struggling with the stick, but boy, oh boy, is he really taken over that first base position. I mean, he forced Joe Maddon's hand. Went out there and just took it over.
Well, he had some vision issues and had that addressed, and thought he'd gotten into maybe some bad habits because he tried to work his way through the vision problems and still hit. Rodriguez draws a walk, and Sean's on for the 2nd time. And so now the vision situation is cleared up, and apparently whatever mechanical issues he had, he's ironed those out. So he's given the Rays steady offense at first base and great defensive work there. Randy St. Clair goes to the mound. Giving Vente a little breather, if nothing else.
We'll celebrate Memorial Day weekend with the Rays. Exclusive party areas and great group options are still available. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com to reserve your seats today.
Well, let's see if Kelly Shoppach can add to the Rays' lead. Marlins do get some action in the bullpen. Oh, he's hit by the pitch. Shoppach hit, and that's going to load the bases. Well, Shields is going to be up here with the bases loaded again.
Come on, Jamie, make a play for that.
Kochman at third, Rodriguez up to 2nd, and Shoppach hit by the pitch to load him. So Shields will bat with him loaded. It's popped up right side. It's Gabby Sanchez under it, making the catch to retire the side. So the Rays add to their lead. They leave them loaded, and they lead 4-0.
The bottom half of the third inning, final game for the Rays here in Sun Life Stadium, as the Marlins will be in a new facility next year, and they're excited about the new stadium, 12 miles from downtown Miami. It will have a retractable roof. It will take 13 to 15 minutes to open or close that roof. Also out in left field, an operable wall which will open and give you a view of downtown Miami. There you see the aquarium on the first base side, 450 gallons, 24 feet long. Third base side, 34 feet long and 650 gallons. There'll be a large party area called La Playa with a swimming pool, and there you see the view beyond left field of downtown Miami. All ready to go for the 2012 season, guys. Back to you.
Brett Hayes, the catcher, is going to lead it off against James Shields, and the pitch is in there for a strike.
Hey, Dwayne, I got something for you. I can't wait. You want to know how intimate this stadium's going to be?
How intimate is it going to be?
See how you set it up like that? The top level here at Sun Life Stadium.
Yep. It's fly ball, and Upton's going to take care of that.
A nice lazy fly ball to beat you. The top level here at Sun Life Stadium has more seats in it than this entire stadium will.
There you are.
There you go. Mm-hmm. It's going to seat around 36,000. There's more than 36,000 seats in the top level here. You cut that right out.
Yeah. Just drop it right off.
Drop it right off. Yeah. It's an intimate setting.
I'm just more impressed with your work ethic every day. I mean, it's amazing.
My work ethic.
Yeah. I mean, here you are digging out all that information. It was a Saturday night.
That's
Miami last night. You could have been out. You were there in your room doing your homework.
No, that was listening in on a conversation in the food room this morning is all that was.
You're much too honest for this business.
If that's work.
This pitch is foul out of play. I mean, not only do you pick up information like that, but I mean, with each passing day, you become more and more knowledgeable about the great game of soccer as well.
Well, I'm into it, Dwayne.
There's a strike, and Bente is called out on strikes, 2 gone.
Well, speaking of which, the UEFA Champions League final comes to Fox with a rematch of the 2009 final as Sir Alex Ferguson and his Manchester United squad looks to avenge their 0-9 defeat to Barcelona. Fox Sports exclusive coverage begins Saturday, May the 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific in high definition. And Dwayne, again, we know all about Messi, Rooney, Chicharito, but how about the fact that Manchester United is going to basically play a home game here? They're playing at Wembley Stadium. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is right down the road.
Yeah, and how could you not root for a team that has a guy who's been knighted, apparently? Sir Alex Ferguson? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing the Barcelona squad and playing it right in their own backyard.
You should run over there.
This travel on this road trip, I kind of feel like we are.
Yeah, we're actually, what we're doing is flying post patterns up and down the North American continent. On this trip.
Routes.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Go long. Just keep going.
Boy, are we going long. We're going to bunt that ball, and that's a strike taken by Coughlin. The count is 2-2. Yeah, we're going to push 5,000 miles just on this little trip, and we're just going back and forth, back and forth. A little bit outside. The count is full. Oh, there you are.
Here we go. We started off. Well, goodness. Yeah, forget that. A little bit off, but we went up and down and up and down.
I have to fly out over the golf to get the proper bearings. And a high fly ball into right, and Joyce is there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. So we go to the fourth. 4-0 Rays. 2 runs in the third to take this 4-0 lead. Wrapping up this part of the road trip.
Well, here we go. St. Petersburg, leave, go up to Toronto. We already did that leg of it. Of course, the flight was not nearly that quick, nor was that one. Down here, wrap this series up, and then where? Where do we go? There we go. Detroit, right back up north. Another go route, hopefully hit in stride, and then there we come back. Almost 4,500 miles. And never leave the Eastern time zone.
Yep. Well, Brian Sanchez is going to take over on the mound as Bente in his first big league start. Not his major league debut, because the Rays did see him last year. He spent some time with the Marlins, but he's gone after 3, and Sanchez is in there. Top of the batting order, Elliott Johnson, and he takes a strike. So 4 runs off Bente, 3 earned. Rays collecting 5 hits, 3 walks, and a hit batter. 1-1 to count to Johnson. And that's low. 2-1. Josh Johnson, scheduled to originally make this start, but he's on the disabled list. So the Rays saw Bente for 3, and now Sanchez. That's a strike. You know, Joe Maddon's an interesting guy.
Yes.
I mean, he was talking about Josh Johnson not starting this game. And, you know, you'd think that you don't have to face a guy like that. You'd be jumping up and down. There's Elliott Johnson reaching, and he's out on strikes. And Maddon said, I know some people might think I'm nuts, he said, but I really prefer to face Josh Johnson. He says he loves the idea of facing the best. He's serious about it. He said he means it. He really does. And we're thinking, what?
Well, yeah, I think what you need to amend in that is I don't think some people may think you're nuts. I think we all think you're nuts.
No, let's face Josh Johnson anytime we can.
Hey, where's Koufax and Drysdale? Throw them out there.
The pitch to Johnny Damon. I mean, look at this. This guy now on the DL with a little shoulder issue. If you don't have to face him, there's no reason to face him.
No. I mean, he is a true, just dominant. You know, through his first 5 starts of the season, he did not give up a hit in the first 3 innings. 0 for 45.
Yeah, well, and so right here, we're through 3 innings, and the Rays have 4 runs. No, I'd rather face him. He doesn't give up any hits in the first 3. Let's face him.
Right.
3-0 the count to Johnny Damon. There's a strike.
That's just that baseball machismo.
Yeah, well,
thump your chest.
Hey, he's not gonna back down from the best.
No. Just let's take them all on.
And there is ball 4 to Johnny Damon. So Damon draws the walk. Our AT&T trivia question. Who has the most hits as a Marlin? Just in case you were wondering. There's some interesting candidates through the years here. You know, they've had a couple of guys who can hit. Who has the most hits as a Marlin? Evan Longoria takes a strike. Back in their early days, there was Jeff Conine. I mean, Conine essentially became Mr. Marlin here.
Yeah.
You know, in those early years. Runner takes off. The pitch is low, and Damon runs into an out at second base. Infante put the tag on him. Johnny caught stealing. The Rays have now lost 2 base runners trying to steal.
Well, Brett Hayes getting rid of this ball quickly. The one hop right there, nice. Omar Infante comes up with it and able to get the tag down on Damon. Not easy right here. Play that. Bang, bang.
It's fouled back by Evan. You know, the deal is, the answer to that question, that you've got to find some guys who've been here for a while.
Well, that's the thing. They've had some very talented players come through, but you remember that team that won in '97, where they were put together with the idea of winning a World Series, and then they all scattered.
Yep. Evan is out on strikes. So the Rays are finished in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the inning, and it's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Brought to you all season by Hyundai. Rays have taken a 4-0 lead in this game as we now move into the bottom of the 4th. Hanley Ramirez will open the inning for the Marlins against James Shields. Ramirez fouls it up the right side. Out of play, strike one. You know, we talked about Ramirez and the Marlins now a quarter of the season in, hoping that they can get him going. Their manager, Edwin Rodriguez, was talking about him, thought that one of the issues might be as Ramirez continues to develop. 0-2, you know, he's bigger than he was. His body type is a little different than he was as a baby in his career. I mean, you get guys who come up and they're, you know, 175 pounds and slender, and the body type changes, and their skipper thought that might be part of the issue, that just because his body type now is a little different, that his mechanics, it would logically follow, might be a little different to get to certain pitches that he had been able to get to before. You're not going to get to that pitch in the dirt. He's out on strikes.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think that body type makes any difference when you choose to swing at that pitch. good body, bad body, good mechanics, bad mechanics. I think it's just, I think that's a manager that's covering for his star player is what I think that is. Yep. Because, it's not like you wake up one morning and all of a sudden you're different. You've been working out, you've been swinging, you've seen guys' bodies change over the course of their career, and, you just keep going right along. And by the way, if that is an issue, then you may want to make the adjustments to get back to where you were good with the body. Lose some weight. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, he doesn't look like a guy who's overweight or heavy. He looks like a big, strong, kid. But yep. I think right now it's swinging at pitches like that that's getting him into trouble.
1-1 to count to Logan Morrison. And again, another reason that you're here.
Well, sometimes you just hear something and you think, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we've had a couple of those from each manager now. 1-2 the count on Morrison.
Good change up there. Morrison way out in front.
Yeah, he got Morrison on a nice change up. Got him on strikes the first time around. 2-2 the count. Still got to get the answer to that trivia question here before the bottom of the fourth is complete.
3-2.
And the count is full. Ground ball to second. Rodriguez takes care of that. 2 outs, and we'll get the answer to our AT&T trivia question. Who has the most hits as a member of the Florida Marlins? And the answer to that, Luis Castillo, 1,273. You thought Conine, you thought maybe Hanley Ramirez, although he's still a young guy. And it's Castillo.
That's a lot of hits.
Gabby Sanchez. Pitch is low, 1-0. And there you go. There's the top 5 in terms of hits in a Marlins uniform. Sanchez lifts it to the right side, and Sean Rodriguez handles that one. 1, 2, 3. We're through 4 and on to the 5th. 4-0 Tampa Bay. Two on the board in the second and 2 in the third. They lead 4-0. And Matt Joyce will open the 5th to be followed by Upton and then Kochman. Ron Sanchez on the hill. The pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. And a strike. 1-1. Sanchez struck out a couple, issued a walk, and the Rays had a runner caught trying to steal in the 4th. Two and one. Takes the count now to 3 balls and a strike. Sanchez was in 61 games last year for the Marlins. And that's ball 4 outside. Leadoff walk by Matt Joyce.
The Rays Summer Concert Series presented by Hess Express continues Saturday, May the 28th, when pop punk star Avril Lavigne performs her chart-topping hits, including Girlfriend and Complicated. All part of Rays Saturday Nights, presented by Bright House Networks. Visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets.
Here's B.J. Upton. Pitch is fouled out of play for a strike. Sanchez in relief of Bente. Right-hander out of Beaumont, Texas. He went to school at Lamar University. 0-2. Sanchez spent a little time with the Phillies and briefly in Washington. And Upton takes strike 3. BJ called out on strikes.
Let's take a look at this on Fox Tracks. Here it is. Right there.
Yeah, nothing to do but turn and walk away. Here's Casey Kochman. Pitch too high. One ball, no strikes. Rays start the runner, and the pitch is lined into center by Kochman. Joyce will go to third base, and Casey Kochman is on again. Third straight time he's reached. The Rays started Joyce, and Kochman comes through with a base hit.
Well, the Rays continuing to put the pressure on, get a little something going, and Casey Kochman, short, quick stroke, and he lines it out into center field. There's Joyce. Nice swing there by Kochman.
First and third for Sean Rodriguez. Sean's been on twice, a single and a walk. And he puts down the bunt. That's going to be a foul ball. So the Rays with men at first and third, and that bunt was not going to score Joyce. As it turns out, it was a foul ball anyway.
Yeah, that works out for the Rays because that's the play that Joe Madden loves. The one out, first and third. You got a guy at the plate that can handle the bat. He's able to get the bunt down and get it out into the field of play. Little safety squeeze. Very, very difficult to defend.
And there it is, put down again. Joyce headed to the plate, and he is out. Joyce came in standing up, and he hesitated just a moment before coming down the line. And that's, as you pointed out, designed to be a safety squeeze, but he hesitated a little more than you would hope that he might. And so the Marlins defeat that attempt to score on the part of the Rays.
He didn't get it. Yeah, as soon as you see that ball down, you got to go. That ball was bunted hard out there, and you see what forced Matt Joyce to stay on his feet was the bat is laying right in the third base line. You can't slide with that bat there unless you really want to tear yourself up. He's got to go in standing up, and he's an easy target there for Brett Hayes.
So the Rays trying to get their 5th run home, do not, and now it's Kelly Shopik. He lays off the pitch as it dips low. 1-0 the count. 2 men on with 2 men out. There's a strike. 1-1. Shopik singled in the 2nd inning, hit by a pitch in the 3rd. That's high. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, that's one of the few times the Rays have failed to execute that 1st and 3rd bunt play to get a run home.
Well, and we talk about doing the little things and being able to execute what goes into that play. You got to get obviously got to get the bunt down, but you also have to have a good secondary lead off of third base. You see Matt Joyce watches the pitch. He's not really moving, gets kind of caught in between, and now he has to go. You'd like to get that lead off of third base, and as the pitcher goes into his motion, he's going to be delivering the ball to home plate. Now you're starting to get that momentum building. You see the ball down, now you go. That buys you another step or two.
Shopik pops it up. Foul ball. Hayes after it, but it's going to be out of play. And that's one area where Joyce has really made strides with his base running, and that's one of the few times that he wasn't exactly caught flat-footed, but there was a little beat there that could make a difference in that play. And he's been very good about running the bases. It was emphasized to him that this is a team that goes 1st to 3rd, scores from 2nd on a base hit, those things, and he's taken that seriously. Didn't work out that time. Full count to Shopik. And a ground ball to 3rd. Dobbs makes the pickup and the throw to 1st to retire the side. The Rays do not score, and they lead 4-0, middle of 5. Tampa Clearwater game summary. The Rays got a couple runs in the second. One of those an unearned run. They added 2 more in the third inning. With the extra base hit route, Joyce doubled in a run. Kochman tripled home a run. So the Rays lead 4-0 as we move into the bottom of the 5th inning. Shields has been very efficient going about his duties today.
And he's been doing it very quietly, getting out on the mound and getting the team back into the dugout quickly. He's gone through the first 4 innings. He's thrown just 49 pitches. That's barely over 12 pitches per inning, which is kind of keeping in line with what he's been doing all season long. You know, he came into the start averaging 13.8 pitches per inning. That is the lowest mark in the American League. He's been very, very good at that today. And you see teams, they don't want to get to that changeup late in the count, 2 strikes, so they go up there swinging early. And if he's able to throw quality strikes early in the count, he gets a lot of easy outs.
1-0 the count to Greg Dobbs, who leads off the home half of the 5th for the Marlins. Hits it on the ground to short. Picked up by Elliott Johnson. That will be out number 1. Time to take a look at the upcoming Rays schedule. Brought to you by Just for Man Hair Color. Rays head to Detroit. 3-game series there, and then home. Tropicana Field Friday night against Cleveland. Texas also in on the homestand. As we look forward to the Rays schedule, you can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color. One gone. Now Mike Stanton. Chops it to third. That's a foul ball.
And the Rays completed anyway. Just a little fielding practice there.
Well, you never want to take anything for granted. You can't do your own umpiring.
That's right. You don't assume. Walter Matthau taught us all about it.
Yeah, leave the umpiring to the umpires, and you just execute the plays. 2 strikes. That's 10 in a row retired by Shields. Giving up the 1 hit to Sanchez. A base hit to open the 2nd inning. 3 strikeouts for Shields, no walks. No ball, 2 strikes. Stanton is out on strikes. Take a look at this cut.
Well, this is why hitters don't want to get to the changeup. 2 strikes. This ball way off the plate. You see the swing here by Stanton. That is not of major league level. And that's how good that pitch is. And that's why you see guys swinging early off Shields. They don't want to get to that pitch. The thing about it is that pitch is so good that they know they're going to get it. You know, with 2 strikes, there's a real good chance 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, you're going to get a Shields changeup, and you can know that it's coming and still not be able to do anything about it or lay off of it. That's how good the pitch is.
1-0 the count to Infante, who had shortened on the bat on the first pitch. So 2 up, 2 down in the 5th inning. Line drive, and it's caught by Longoria. Boy, Infante sent a bullet down to third, and Longoria caught it. 1, 2, 3 inning. We go to the sixth. 4-0 Rays. The new Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. And by your local Southern Ford dealers. Rays holding a 4-0 lead here in South Florida. James Shields set to begin the sixth in the batter's box. He's been up there a couple times with the bases loaded, and now he leads off the inning. Rays 3 of 9 with men in scoring position. The Marlins have yet to put a man into scoring position. Shields looks at the first pitch for a strike. Brian Sanchez following Jay Bente to the mound. And a tap grabbed by the catcher Hayes, and the throw to first in time. Shields retired to open the inning. Swing back around to the top of the order. Here, Elliott Johnson. Elliott picked up an RBI in the second inning. The pitch is a strike. Two.
A good breaking ball there by Sanchez.
We got a piece of that one to foul it off. Sanchez will, especially the left-handed hitters, use that kind of a split changeup. And you see Johnson battling to make some contact to stay alive. And not this time. He's out on strikes. 2 gone now. And the poll question today brought to you by AutoWay. Text your vote to 789-789. Standard message rates apply. which of these two teams has a better chance to make the playoffs. TB1, the Rays. TB2, the Marlins. At the moment, the Marlins a game and a half back of the Phillies in the tough NL East. And the Rays, of course, live in that tough AL East. And they are in a virtual tie with the Yankees for first place. A couple percentage points behind them. And a half game up on Boston. Johnny Damon tracks this one in and then all the way back as it hopped toward the backstop. 1-0.
And that American League East all bunched up. Top 4 teams within a game and a half.
Damon lifts it down the left field line. Long run for Morrison. That ball drops just foul. Morrison had no chance to get over there. But for the Marlins, fortunately for them, it was a foul ball. Otherwise, Johnny Damon has himself another hit.
Well, you can see where Morrison is. Well, he's near there. Anyway, he's far away from where the ball gets hit from. You see how far he's got to run.
Yeah, I tell you, you have to account for the curvature of the earth when you're demonstrating where the defense.
I'm not drawing on this anymore. I'm not drawing. I put my little tip of my pointer on Tampa, and I was 200 miles out into the Gulf.
I know. Well, you can't navigate, but you're good at a lot of other things. 3-1 the count.
I don't even think that my 8-day weather forecast is going to hold up. It's been good so far, but I think it's going to all come crashing down.
Nah, I think it'll be good. The entire crew has confidence in you. 3-1 is lifted deep down the right side. Foul, and that ball will be caught by Stanton, reaching over the bullpen fence. And the Rays are out in the 6th. Bottom of the inning coming. Rays lead this game 4-0.
Off this road trip and come back to Tropicana Field. Friday Fest, presented by Captain Morgan, includes this giveaway t-shirt, James Shields design, presented by the St. Petersburg Times. Here's more on the shirt from Shields himself.
Yeah, I designed this the second shirt here, and I wanted to throw a few more things in there. I got Wago G in there and Big Game 33 and a picture of me, and this year I kept it a little more simple, not as much graphics. I think a lot of people enjoy it.
Tell us about Wago G.
Wago G kind of came from people started calling me Wago Grande Wago, Spanish for big game, and and then next thing you know, all the teammates that kind of came to Wago G, everyone just started calling me Wago G in the clubhouse. So I thought I'd throw it out there for the fans there.
There you go. Wago G es muy bueno hoy. Cambio muy bueno. Vámonos a Dwayne Stats y Brian Anderson.
Oh, my.
That was excellent.
Very good. How about that guy?
How about him?
1-0 here to Brett Hayes. 2-0. See, you turn him loose here and leave him on his own. Bilingual. You know, he made it back from South Beach in time for work today.
He learned that. He learned that Spanish last night.
Yeah, that's right.
He was yelling at me in Spanish in the hallway not that long ago. Yeah.
I thought I heard a commotion out there.
Well deserved.
The pitch is fouled back. 2-2, and Todd Callis has left the building. Sunny afternoon here at the ballpark. Catcher Brett Hayes chops one to third. That's going to be fair. Deep third. Long throw. Longoria to Kochman, retiring Hayes. It's a nice little play as that one set up.
That is a nice play by Evan Longoria. You wonder what the nerves are like because you've got to wait on this ball, backhand, and look at that. Throw without a step. Throw from your back foot. And it's just a big waiting game. Right here. He gets it, knows he doesn't have time to make a crow hop. He's got to turn immediately, fire. It's probably a little uneasy waiting for that ball to get into your glove and make the transfer. That's a nice shot. Good backspin. The dimensions of the game are perfect.
Through the years, they've remained that way.
They have held up.
Scott Cousins is pinch hitting now with the pitcher Sanchez. Bounces this one foul. It's 1-1. It's a 1-1 count. One ball, 2 strikes. Scott Cousins. Spent most of the year last year in New Orleans and got into 27 games with the Marlins. Hit .297 last year for the Marlins in those games. And is called out on strikes this time. 2 up and 2 down.
Now this is a pitch here we've not seen from Shields today, that backdoor cutter. He just nips the outside corner. Good velocity on that pitch, very little movement, but enough that Cousins gives up on it. Picks up the strikeout looking.
Now Coughlin, the top of the order. He's grounded out and flied out. Takes the pitch in there for a strike. Shields continues to be very efficient. And he has Coughlin swinging over and out in front of that pitch.
I'll tell you what, he is fun to watch. Now that he has his mechanics straightened out, he's getting that, he's toned him down a little bit and is getting that good direction towards home plate. His stuff has really sharpened up. I mean, across the board. The fastball, better movement, the curveball. We saw the swing and a miss. It's got that really good late bite to it.
Yep.
The changeup, of course, it's going to a new level. But it's really fun when he's mechanically sound to watch him go about taking apart a lineup.
And a swing and a miss. Coughlin out on strikes, back-to-back strikeouts right there. Another quick inning, 1, 2, 3. That's 15 in a row retired. On to the 7th, and the Rays lead 4-0. brought to you all season by Hyundai. Rays and the Marlins. The young Brian Anderson. 4-0 the score as we go to the 7th inning. Burke Badenhop is the new pitcher. His first delivery to Longoria is in there for a strike.
Badenhop on for the 8th time, 1-0 record, 6 1/3 innings of work.
It's a 1-1 count. Marlins got Badenhop from the Detroit Tigers. It's a looper into right, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Stanton short hops it. So Evan Longoria is on for the 3rd time, a walk, a double, and now the loop single into right field. Longoria came in 3 for 30.
Trying to get it going somehow. He had that double in the 3rd inning, a 2-hit day. Start to build that confidence.
Here's Matt Joyce lifting a fly ball to center field. Cogman went back a few steps to make the catch. 1 away.
Well, fly through Tropicana Field on Sunday, May the 29th, and the first 10,000 kids 14 and under will get a Super Sam Folds superhero cape. You can visit RaysBaseball.com to get your tickets today.
Here's B.J. Upton. B.J. 0 for 3 twice has struck out. And he taps one toward the 3rd base line. Badenhop with that throw. Comes down under a little bit, sidearm, and that throw to first took off a little bit.
Well, there was almost a mess up from the beginning. Badenhop came off the mound to barehand it, didn't get a good grip on it, so he had to take the ball from his hand to his glove to set the ball right. Right here, watch. He wants to go down there, pick it up, and throw it. But right there, he doesn't get a good grip on it. So now you got to go to the glove, reset, and eventually, there you go. He throws it a tad high.
Casey Kotzman fouls the first pitch back.
Back to normal speed. Working it.
Longoria out there at second base with 2 gone. Rays scored 2 in the 2nd and 2 in the 3rd. Kochman's been in the middle of the Rays offense. He's driven in a run. He's scored a run as a walk, a triple, and a single. Two and one. Two. Badenhop's the 3rd pitcher of the day, utilized by the Marlins. He's in his 8th game of the year for the Marlins. ground ball. Ramirez at shortstop scoops and throws. Sanchez keeps his foot on the bag, and the Rays are out in the 7th inning. No runs, a hit. 7th inning stretch time, 4-0 Tampa Bay.
Half of the 7th inning for the Florida Marlins. Hanley and John Buck and Leo Nunez all participated earlier this week with the Marlins at School program. There they were at Coral Cove Elementary over in Miramar. Craig Minervini, my compadre for the Marlins, on hand as well. So good job by Mr. Buck, Mr. Nunez, Mr. Ramirez, and Craig himself, all getting the job done over there at Miramar Coral Cove. Now, Billy the Marlin's there, and Billy the Marlin has a big glove, guys, and guess who was using that big glove before the game? It was left in front of the Rays dugout. Joe Madden wanted Ben Zobrist to have an off day physically and mentally, and it looks like it's working. Guys, back to you.
Well, so that's how the Rays lead the world in defense.
Yeah, an emphasis on defense by this club, first and foremost, and hey, you've got to have the proper equipment.
That's a fully functioning, gigantic glove. I mean, that's not a prop.
I think it's the right-hander's version of the glove that Juan Pierre uses in the outfield for the White Sox.
Well, the one thing is you can use that out of the mound, never tip your pitches. You can put your elbow in that glove.
Speaking of not tipping your pitches, I'm not sure it would make any difference.
Wow.
The way Shields has thrown so far. 6 very good innings for Shields. He's retired 15 in a row. 73 pitches.
Yeah, still holding right around that 12 pitches per inning. I mean, he has been outstanding.
And he gets a little defensive boost as Sam Fold enters the game in left, replacing Johnny Damon. So Joe Madden makes the defensive move there in the 7th inning. And Hanley Ramirez steps in to lead off the bottom of the 7th for Florida. And he takes the first pitch.
You got to remember, too, the Rays offense put up 2 runs in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 3rd. And this game, you have the feeling that the Rays are dominating this ball game, and most of that is because obviously the early runs, but the performance of James Shields.
That's right.
You know, still just a 4-run lead though, which is why you see Sam Fold going in for defense. And, I mean, the Marlins are still within striking distance, as good as Shields has been.
It's outside. 2-1.
You know, it's like that 4-0 lead feels a lot bigger.
Yep.
However, Joe Madden is like, I'm going to stick to it's just a 4-run lead. We're going to play some defense now.
Morrison will be next, followed by Sanchez. The ground ball to short. Elliott Johnson scoops it and throws. And Johnson has handled himself well at shortstop. He spent most of his time at Durham last year at shortstop. And the recent development of him to play that position really rounds him out as one of those super utility guys.
And it gives, Joe Madden the opportunity to plug him out there. If he's going to get on a little bit of a hot streak offensively, he has no qualms about playing him at shortstop 3 or 4 days in a row. He gets the job done.
There's Morrison. Takes one too low. One to count. Well, this is the 8th start that Shields has made against the Marlins. He has one relief appearance against them. The only relief appearance of his career, that was last year, last June. A ball, 2 strikes. He got the win in that relief appearance. And he takes care of Morrison. So Morrison has run into the veteran Shields, and he struck him out twice and got him on a little ground ball to second the other time.
He struck him out on the changeup the first time, and then in this at bat, it's that curveball. That has been a great pitch today for Shields. Great depth on it. He takes that one right down to the dirt and gets the swing and a miss.
7 strikeouts for Shields. Now Gabby Sanchez. Pitch is too low. 1-0. Sanchez has the only hit in this game. That was a leadoff base hit back in the 2nd inning, and there's a little popper into shallow right, and he has the only 2 hits for the Marlins in this game.
Well, that fastball ran in on Gabby Sanchez and just ate him up. He's strong enough to get it out over the head of Rodriguez out at second base and into shallow right field. This will be a good shot of it. This ball hits. You see that ball all in his kitchen.
How about Sanchez with these 2 hits today, and there's a good pitch and he gets a base hit. He's 5 out of 6 lifetime now against Shields. Here's Dobbs, the 3rd baseman. Missed the fastball, strike 1. Two-out single, Sanchez aboard. Nothing in 2.
There's that curveball again making an appearance.
Well, last inning he started to use a wider variety of his pitches, including we saw the curveball and a slider to go with the variations of the fastball and the changeup.
Well, I mean, when you have all 4 working, the possibilities are endless. I mean, that you can do just about whatever you want.
And Dobbs is out on strikes. 8 strikeouts. They leave a man, and the Rays leave 4-0. Sean Rodriguez leads it off, and the pitch is down 1-0. After listening to that music, it was time for a shower.
I feel like my voice got deeper.
1-1. The count here to Sean Rodriguez.
I am checking out for a minute.
Oh. There's a long drive, and it's going to be foul. Sean Rodriguez playing in front of the home crowd. Friends and family here. It's back. Oh, my. What are they doing in the truck anyway? We're trying to do a broadcast up here. 1-2 the count to Sean. Wow.
It puts you in a mood, doesn't it?
Did Todd take over the truck? 2-2 now. Hey, it's a whiteout trip. You'll never guess who's wearing those shoes. No, not Todd. Nope. I know that was going to be your first guess. That's Chico Fernandez. Now, Sean is hit by that pitch, so he heads to first. There's the Rodriguez family, and let's look at his mother's reaction after Sean is hit by this pitch. Hey, what are you doing there? That's my son. You see that guy out there on the mound?
Yeah. Oh, that is a mom.
Great. That is so good.
That is
just the best. Shopik fouls it back. Yeah, you're messing with my son there. What another count was Shopik. Shopik was hit by a pitch back in the third. Officially 1 for 2. 1-1. Yeah, I was going to say, Sean, he likes the idea of interleague play because he gets to come over here and see his family and his friends in the middle of the season. So it's really great for him. It's a foul ball back. The count is 1-2. And Sean had a little barbecue with his family last night, taking a page out of our producer Mike Griffin's book, who's the barbecue expert on this crew. He just spent so much time doing it that after all of those efforts, he had to be good eventually.
That's kind of like the me with the pickoff move.
There you are. Well, yeah.
I mean, you realize how many base runners I had to allow to get that thing right?
Yeah, but Griff can really pick music.
Wow.
Yeah. So Sean Rodriguez at first base. Baden Hopp on the mound, the third pitcher of the day, employed by the Marlins. And a full count. James Shields on deck. Rays scored 2 runs in the second, 2 in the third. Tried to push another one across in the 5th inning on that first and third safety squeeze, but it didn't work out. And Shopik is out on strikes. Runner going. He is safe there. So Rodriguez steals second base. And Shopik tried to check, but he is out on strikes.
Well, the Marlins here with an opportunity for a strike him out, throw him out. Here is the strikeout, a little too far. And the throw down. We've seen Hayes do this twice. This a little bit high on the bounce, and Sean Rodriguez is able to slip that left hand in there. That ball came up a little too much. It was there in time.
Here's James Shields, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. Shot in with a stolen base, his third of the year. Shields checks on a pitch, 2 wide, 1-1. The Rays wrapping up this series here against the Marlins. We'll be off to Detroit when this game is over. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We didn't really get the chance to explain those shoes because the Rays have their all whiteout trip, leaving Miami and heading up to Detroit. And the Rays video guy, Chris Fernandez Chico, not only has a complete white outfit, the pants of which he hemmed himself, but those disco shoes, I guess they're disco shoes.
All I know is that he brought a full, look at that, with the music. That's perfect. I mean, talk about bringing the full assortment of funk on this trip.
The anklet really looks good on him.
It is.
3-2, strike 3. Shields called out on strikes. So a couple of strikeouts back to back for Badenhop.
I already told him I want a picture of him. I want a picture of him in the Travolta pose. Hand on the hip, shooting the finger gun in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Elliott Johnson now. One strike. Elliott got credit for a run batted in the second inning. He's in the leadoff spot today in Joe Maddon's lineup. A strike on the inner part of the plate.
And Badenhop has that front door sinker right there to Elliott Johnson. You throw that pitch, it starts in off the plate. Of course, the hitter, his first thought is to try to bail out of there, or at least freeze up on it, and it sinks right out, catches the inside corner.
Still 2 strikes the count to Elliott Johnson. Guys in the truck doing some calculating on why you had such a great pickoff move.
And it all makes sense.
Over 2,100 base runners.
There you go. It's a
high.
lot of practice.
A ball, 2 strikes. And there's strike 3 called at the knees. Badenhop strikes out the side after hitting Rodriguez, and the Rays lead 4-0. The two-hit pitching of James Shields lead 4-0 as we take a look at our inside look, brought to you by Toyota.
Well, James Shields has had it all working once again. Some really good changeups. Here you see a nice shot. How about this? Just right by you, Chris Coughlin. He has really, like I said, been very good all day long. Continues to get better, incorporating more of the breaking stuff as the game has gone on, and it's just as sharp. You see how he's getting his outs. 8 via the strikeout, 6 ground outs, 7 in the air.
Yeah, he starts Mike Stanton swinging over a breaking ball, strike one.
He's giving everybody a chance.
One and one. Shields at one point in this game had retired 17 in a row.
I mean, how about that? That swing there by Stanton, he was on that pitch. He was not way out in front. The problem is that movement is just so late. That's why I say you can know it's coming and still nothing you can do about it.
Taps one foul.
All he could do right there to foul it off. I mean, that's just how good that pitch has been.
Shields.
A testament to his, the mechanical adjustment.
Yep.
He's just getting more movement on that pitch than even he has in the past.
Yeah, and really with the exception of that Chicago start, his second start of the year, he's been very good every time out.
And I'm telling you, I know we've talked about this in the past, but I think it's worth mentioning again. I really think that Chicago start, where he started to get rotational again, we noticed it up from the booth, was the best thing that happened to him because he had such a good first start of the year and then, kind of scuffled in that Chicago start.
And he strikes out Stanton.
There you go. There it is. He's just throwing that pitch in there. You know it's coming. What can you do about it? Absolutely nothing today.
Here it is again.
You see the way he sells that with a good arm speed.
Wow.
It's just way out in front. Nothing you can do about it. But what that did was that showed him, okay, he was able to recognize mechanics first start, very good, very simple. He got a little bit too rotational in the second start and said, yeah, not going back there again. Went back there, didn't have a very good outing. Let me go back, keep it simple. And he has just taken off since then.
1-0 here to Infante. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, he came out in the first start of the year against Baltimore, and just the first couple of innings, you notice right away compared to how he threw the ball last year that he was so much better and back to that top to bottom, more vertical in his delivery than horizontal. There's a line drive and a base hit into center. That comes off a fastball. Infante picks up the third hit, surrendered by Shields all day. And he pretty much has remained that way on almost every pitch he's made this year, with the exception of the Chicago start. A couple of times in a couple other starts, he got a little horizontal, but for the most part, he's been top to bottom, and with that comes great depth on all of his pitches.
On all of them. And there are going to be times, he's not a robot, so there's going to be times where he is going to resort and get a little bit horizontal. What's impressive is he's able to self-coach. He's able to say, okay, wait a minute, I didn't feel right on that delivery or those 2 in a row, and now he's able to make the proper adjustment when he's out there. He doesn't need a visit from pitching coach Jim Hickey. He can make that adjustment himself and get right back to driving the ball downhill.
And time requested by Kelly Shoppett, granted by Laz Diaz. Brett Hayes, the catcher, up there. And the pitch is a strike. Hayes has gone out to center and bounced to third. It's Emilio Bonifacio on deck. The pitcher's spot is due next. outside of third.
Nice attempt there by the ball boy.
All you can ask for is great effort.
Now he gave it there, trying to earn a number on the back of that jersey. Oh, I bet if he comes up with that, they give him number 99.
Well,
something.
they would have changed him from a bald boy to a bald man.
Lose the double ear flap.
Two strikes to count. Still 0-2. Felipe Lopez in uniform and with the club. Reed Brignac on the bereavement list with the passing of his grandfather. And so Lopez has rejoined the club. Rays headed to Detroit when this one is over, opening a series tomorrow night. So they'll go from the National League East back into the American League and into the American League Central, where, by the way, the Cleveland Indians now have a 7-game lead over Detroit and Kansas City. They're 9 up on the White Sox and 13.5 in front of Minnesota.
And at last check, they were drumming the Reds again today.
I mean, how about that club?
Well, you know what? Manny Acta, I got a chance to talk to him when we were up in Cleveland, and they're basically taking a page out of the Rays playbook. You know what? Young pitching. They're throwing the ball extremely well. Their bullpen has been a lockdown bullpen, and they're catching the baseball. Playing defense, they're not hurting themselves. You get a little bit of offense, and you're in every game.
And a cut and a miss. Hayes out on strikes. Second strikeout of the inning. It's 10 on the day for Shields. And now Bonifacio will pinch hit for Badenhop.
This is the same thing over and over and over again. That changeup with the depth. You know it's coming. 2 strikes. You know you're in trouble. Just go ahead, take your swing and a miss, and head back to the bench.
He's at 100 pitches and 10 strikeouts for the 10th time in his career. The first pitch to Bonifacio is a strike. And he's swinging over that pitch.
The first pitch curveball that he's able to throw right into the strike zone to get the called strike, and then right to the nasty changeup, down and off the plate.
Blocked by Shopik.
You know, if you go over Shields and look at his pitch charts for the season, the ball, the off-speed pitch to the left-handed hitter that is down on the plate to off the plate, down and away. He's thrown that roughly 70, 75 times this season. The batting average against that pitch is 0.
Whoa.
0. Has not given up a hit.
He's away with this pitch off the plate. It's 2-2.
And obviously, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, that's the changeup we're talking about. But when he keeps that thing, down, knees and below, middle of the plate to off, it's unhittable.
And Bonifacio is out on strikes. So he strikes out the side. Shields has 11 on the day. And we're headed into the 9th inning with the Rays leading 4-0. Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. And by your greater Tampa Bay area Buick GMC dealers. Welcome back to South Florida. The Rays and the Marlins move into the ninth inning. The Rays have a 4-0 lead, and James Shields has been in charge on the mound. 11 strikeouts for Shields. And 105 pitches. No runs, 3 hits. And Sam Fold makes his first plate appearance after taking over in left in the 7th. He's facing Clay Hemsley. See, Hensley just activated. And he has Fold swinging over a change. 0-2. Clay Hensley, pitcher number 4 for the Florida club. Fly ball short right. Stanton is there and makes the catch. One out here. Shields has gone the distance twice this year, once against the White Sox at the Trop and then against the Blue Jays up in Toronto.
And if I'm James Shields right now, as well as I'm throwing the baseball, you know, his confidence is sky high. You know, you don't want to ever wish bad on your teammates, but you want a quick inning right here.
Yep.
Like, fellas, 4's enough. Go ahead, go up there, put it together a nice at-bat, line it at somebody, hit it hard, and get me back out there so I can finish this thing off. I promise you that's what he's thinking. You love to get runs, obviously, but there were times that as a pitcher you feel like you've got enough runs to win the ball game, and you're throwing the ball that well, you want to stay in rhythm and get back out there as quickly as possible.
It's a strike at the knees. Now 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Josh Johnson on the DL. He was originally slated to pitch today. Well, the way Shields has pitched,
Yeah.
Johnson's thinking, well, this maybe wasn't such a bad idea. Longoria lifts a fly ball. Coughlin and Morrison, and Coughlin is there, the center fielder. 2 gone.
There was not much of a chance to be better than Shields has been up to this point. Although Josh Johnson very capable.
Two outs, base is empty, and Matt Joyce faces Hensley. Pitch is down. Hensley had a bruised rib on his left side that put him on the disabled list. Two and 0 the count. Joyce doubled in a run in the 3rd inning and scored a run. And there's a strike on the outer part of the plate. 2-1. Hensley got to the big leagues with the San Diego Padres. Was in 68 games last year, his first season with Florida. Takes the count to 2-2. And a wave and a miss on a breaking pitch. So Joyce is out on strikes. 1-2-3 go the Rays. Bottom of the 9th coming. 4-0 Tampa Bay.
out.
On to the bottom of the ninth inning as James Shields goes to the hill looking for his third complete game of this season. And to this point, he has a 3-hit shutout going. 105 pitches, 11 strikeouts, and no walks. And he'll face the top of the order. Here's Chris Coghlan. Pitch is down. Coghlan has grounded out, flied out, and struck out his last time. The pitch is a strike. Shields really has integrated all of his pitches in this performance. There's that changeup always front and center, but there's a chop to short. Johnson's thrown. Coghlan is out, number 1.
That's what's made him so effective. First of all, he's throwing strikes. He's pounding the strike zone. You can tell that by the no walks and the pitch count. But you're right, Wayne. He's used a fastball. He's moved it around. He's used the cut fastball. He's used the slider. We've seen a very good curveball, especially from the middle part of the ball game late. And then how about the changeup? I mean, the changeup is always there. It's been there again today. So, I mean, he's got the full assortment working, and he's throwing strikes, and he's mixing them well. Not a real surprise that he's had a great day.
Here's Hanley Ramirez. That pitch sails up and in a bit. Breaking pitch that didn't bite much. 1-0 the count. Back in with a strike. 1-1. Two and one. Ramirez shoots one down the left field line. That ball is a foul ball. And the count goes to 2-2. And now the count is full. Shields hasn't had many of these. This full count, he started the game by going 3-2 to Coghlan and got him on a ground ball. Now he's 3-2 to Ramirez here in the ninth inning. And he fouls this one out of play. He had a couple full count to Coghlan in the first and again in the third. He went 3-2 to Morrison in the fourth inning. He's had a good pitch count, and now he's 3-2 to Ramirez here in the ninth.
We'll see what he feels about the changeup right here. It's set up perfectly.
And he got him. There you are. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Ramirez on the change. Swinging over that one, and that's strikeout number 12.
Well, you know, Ramirez had hit one pretty well down the left field line. And then after missing with a curveball and going full count, he went fastball away, and Hanley Ramirez fouled it off. Well, once he threw that pitch and established that fastball once again, now he's got Hanley set up perfectly for a changeup. And if he chose to go that route, he had a good chance of getting them. Well, he did, and he did.
Well, 12 strikeouts equals his season's high and his career high. Foul ball out of play by Logan Morrison. He had 12 strikeouts against the Angels. And that came on the 30th of April. And that's strike 2. He has struck out Morrison twice in this game, swinging on a changeup in the first and swinging on a curveball in the 7th. Got him on a ground ball to second in between. 2 strikes the count right here. Down and in. A ball, 2 strikes.
Go back to that curveball, try to get him again. Down and in. Going to go away.
And that's outside. 2-2.
Tried that backdoor cutter, evens the count, but you put yourself in a position here. Which one do you like better, the curveball or the changeup?
Well, they've both been effective. 2-2. And that one is a little wide, and the count goes to 3-2.
Oh, that was a curveball, and you know that was well, you feel for him because he had him set up for it. He tried to throw it too hard. You know, he was really, good with his hand out in front. That one he tried to jump on a little bit, and it never was able to get to its break.
3-2. And ball 4 is too low. He missed with a fastball and gives up his first walk. So, a 2-out walk. Gabby Sanchez will be the hitter. So now it's time to regroup out there and finish it off. He really wanted to finish it there. But Morrison walks, and here is Gabby Sanchez, the first baseman. He's 2 for 3 today. And the pitch is a strike. And a swing and a miss, 0-2. Two strikes the count here to Sanchez with a runner at first. So Shields again a strike away from finishing this one off. And a ground ball hit the third foul. So we'll do it again. Shields got Coughlin on the bouncer to short. Ramirez struck out on the changeup. 12 strikeouts for Shields. And the pitch is down. Into second base goes Morrison. So a man at second base, which means that's the first time today the Marlins have put a man as far as second base. And a swing and a miss. Sanchez out on strikes, and it's all over. The Rays win it. James Shields goes the distance, collecting a career-high 13 strikeout. And the Rays win the final game of this series. It's a 4-0 final. Second shutout of the year for James Shields. The Rays are winners. We'll talk to Shields on our postgame. For Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats. See you next on the postgame.